in Maine. One must die, chase the cat.
Look at me scurrying to be ready for going live. Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. I don't know if anybody else is feeling blah with this weather today, but I'll tell you, it's making me feel blah. I don't mind not being as hot as it's been, but I don't know, it's just blah weather. I took 3 or 4 cat naps today, which isn't like me, and I still managed to be ready for the show, which is like, you know, hey, I'm proud of myself because I can waste time doing worse things, but here we are now, and you know, there was a great event today, and you know, needless to say, I didn't make it. A little farther than my comfort zone with my current vehicle situation, but looks like everybody had a good time, and I'll have to catch everybody next time because, like I said, it's just still not a good thing with me vehicularly. So just a little aside or a footnote or an update from last week's show. We had Zilla, who is the president and co-founder of Desmond's Army, in the studio, and Kim Strong from Road to Home Rescue calling in to talk about Rose. And it was a very powerful presentation, if I do say so. And I can say so because that powerful presentation was really all Kim. She was amazing. She made just the most comprehensive case for why Rose should be released to her rescue and all the many ways that she is equipped and prepared and at the ready to take her on and work with her and make her the best dog that she can possibly be after what she's been through. Unfortunately, Rose remains in 24/7 lockdown, and you know, her life is just not guaranteed until she leaves the building. So you know, we really do need more people to continue to write letters, send emails, advocate for her. There was a motion filed in court this week to you know, for the release of Rose to Home Rescue. And so hopefully that will be something that will be heard and will be granted, because you know, it really is what needs to happen in the grand scheme of things for her very life. And again, you know, her life just isn't guaranteed. While all of this legal stuff is going on, no, nothing can happen until a judge, you know, decides it's game over or to release her. But honestly, the best thing for her is to be released to Road to Home. As I said, you know, Kim is prepared, at the ready. As she said, she'd be here tomorrow when, you know, and if the release was granted. If you didn't watch last week's show, I strongly urge you to check it out. Get Rose's story and, you know, step in, get involved, do what you can, because she really does need the support, and, you know, her very life really does depend on it. So Justice for Rose is her Facebook page, and everything you need to know is there. You know, stuff that, just the rewind and, you know, the things that are needed to be done. There are, you know, links to news stories. There's actually a link to last week's show, which I thank you for, you know, recognizing it as the powerful tool that it could be for her. I would love to see it be, you know, presented to the judge and to anyone who is in a position to make a decision. So hopefully that will get done. And really fingers crossed for Rose, because she cannot continue to live the way she has been. It's horrific, and you know, there really needs to be resolve, because this is absolutely cruelty. And you know, if you can take the time to check out last week's show, you'll definitely get the whole story. If you check out Justice for Rose on Facebook, you'll get the story, and really, it's horrifying. So anyway, Justice for Rose on Facebook. Be there or be square. Go do your thing, and there's even a template letter that makes it a lot easier if you're not sure what to say. If you're inclined to send emails or letters or whatever, it's very easy when there's a template. All you have to do is fill in your own information, and if you feel like building on what's there, you can feel free to change it up any way you find necessary. All you have to do is copy and paste, and you've got it at your fingertips to do with it as you may. Alrighty, I will take the camera back, and we've got some pups that need homes. And I know that some people feel like we should take care of our own, but love knows no zip codes. These dogs' lives depend on us, so sometimes they're not exactly going to be, in our own backyard. I can't turn a blind eye to animals, wherever they may be, who are in a bad way. So we're going to start out with Sam and Sadie. Look at these two sweet, sweet faces. Sam and Sadie spent their entire lives with their family, only to be unceremoniously dumped in a shelter at 14 years of age. Dumped allegedly because their owner could no longer handle their needs. Does anyone really realize how easy a dog is at that age? Sam and Sadie are described as the nicest dogs who love a leisurely stroll and walk past all the other dogs with no reaction. They each have some lumps and bumps that come with old age, which are really not anything that should be addressed at such an advanced age. The time for that was long ago. With a senior, you're really not going to risk their lives for some, lumps or bumps that are just fatty tissue. That it happens. If anybody out there has had senior dogs, they're just a non-issue. Sam and Sadie would make perfect housemates in a laid-back environment. They are located at the Associated Humane Popcorn Park Shelter in Forked River, New Jersey. And if you are interested in Sadie and Sam, and realistically, hopefully they can stay together. I looked up the shelter, and it says they like to be able to keep pairs together. All these two have left of their former lives, of their whole lives, as each other. And just how devastating would that be to separate them? Sooner or later, one will be gone before the other, and that's going to be hard enough on the survivor. But, at this point, to separate them, I just can't imagine. Anyway, if you're interested, call 609-693-1900. Once again, that's 609-693-1900. And, I just have to say, to say you can't handle their needs, I can't imagine. Dogs at that age that are still clearly as healthy as they seem to be are so easy. There's none of that crazy puppy play. There's, no long, strenuous exercise. They sleep almost all the time. They might have a little spunk here and there, but they're so easy. I can't stand the mentality, and I see it too often. Well, they're old. I need a puppy. They're too old. I can't deal with it. They're no fun anymore. Really? These are really reasons why people dump senior pets, and it's just mortifying. These are animals that gave you their entire lives. You are their world. That is their home. And you're just, like you're going to trade in an old car. You don't want it anymore. It's going to go downhill at some point, surely, because It happens to people. It happens to every living creature that gets old. There's a decline. There's going to be maybe some, reverting back to bad habits. There's going to be, a little bit of confusion and maybe the little bit of dementia. It's not, it happens in animals too. There might be some accidents. They may become a little incontinent. They may need to go out a little more frequently because, they can't hold it as long. But that's what you sign up for. That is part and parcel of from cradle to the grave. And people who can't keep that commitment just mind boggle me, because every animal I've ever had into old age, no, it wasn't a party or a picnic at the end, but you know what? That was my commitment. And that's what I owed that animal for a lifetime of the joy that they brought me. And knowing what lies ahead, I'd rather deal with that than have to say goodbye. It's, it is what it is. And you would take care, hopefully, of your parent or your, anybody in your family that was close enough to you in that condition. And so why not the dog? So I'm off my rant now. And, if you can't make the commitment, don't have a pet. That's all I'm going to say, because it makes me so angry to see a senior dog dumped because you're a jerk. Okay. Also at Associated Humane Popcorn Park Shelter is Casey. I can't stand how cute she is. I love rat terriers, and I had a rat terrier. I had a rat terrier Chihuahua mix. My Kelly was the rat terrier. My Gidget was the mix. And, I just adore these dogs. They are so wonderful. And Casey is a 9-year-old rat terrier whose owner moved, here we go again, and didn't take her along. Because, that's good after 9 years. You bail on your animal. Don't find a place that'll take your pets. Oh, I am vicious tonight. Anyway, Casey is shy and clearly confused. She's shy at first, but she bonds quickly and just wants to snuggle and be held. Casey is well behaved and gets along with mild-mannered dogs and would be best with no small children. Unfortunately, little dogs, especially ones that are a little shy or timid, are intimidated by little children. The quick movements, the loudness. So you really don't want to set a dog up to fail because, as we discussed last week, how does a dog make itself known? It can bite. So you don't want to set the dog up to fail. Anyway, if you are interested in Casey, and somebody please do it before I do. No, I can't. I really can't. 609-693-1900. That's 609-693-1900. Alrighty. There's a desperate plea for a special dog named Kane. And Kane has cancer and needs a foster or forever home like ASAP, like yesterday. For his breed, 7 years old is definitely senior status, and no terminally ill dog or cat at any age should have to tough out their last days anywhere but in the comfort of a home, surrounded by love and, just crashed out with all the luxury that he can be afforded. If there's a rescue who can step in and take Kane and put him in a foster home and provide for him, that would certainly be acceptable. But really, it's just so heartbreaking. I mean, this guy is stuck in a shelter. He's in the time of his life where it's slipping away from him. I don't know if there's treatment that's available. That would certainly be up to a new owner if that was the route that they chose to take. As a foster, it would just be like a hospice type of, foster situation for however long he has left. The shelter, I believe, is willing to cover the medical for his end of life. And really, he just needs out. He needs a soft place to land, probably as an only dog, only because of the situation. I don't know tons more, but please, if you can open your home to Kane, call. Don't hesitate. The Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter at 516-785-5220. Once again, that's 516-785-5220. If you cannot take him in, he is posted on the Posse Presents Facebook page. Please go share him far and wide before he goes into a real decline. I'm very sure that even his longevity would be greatly improved in just a loving, nurturing environment rather than the shelter. And that's not to say that the volunteers at Tojas aren't doting on him, because I know they are. As a matter of fact, just before airtime, I saw a post about him. But, it's not the same as being in a home. And that's just really what he needs. So please, 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 if you cannot take him in, share him. And let's make his end of life a beautiful thing for him. So next up we have Duke. And Duke, I love the name because obviously I had my Dookie for so long. But Duke is not quite 2 years old, and he has spent half of his life in the shelter. His family surrendered him, and he was clearly devastated. Duke was used to being bathed and having his nails trimmed and his teeth brushed and going for rides and just being a part of a family. Lately, unfortunately, shelter life has been getting the best of him, and he's been keeping to the back of his run, depressed and scared amongst the hubbub in a place with over 100 dogs. Duke is a good boy who at about 50 pounds walks beautifully on a leash, knows his commands, and is completely house trained. He never goes in his kennel, which is quite a thing. And, when you think about that, sometimes the hours in between when the volunteers can get to a dog and get him out, that's quite a thing. Sometimes it's almost detrimental for a dog to be so clean about things, because sadly it means he's just got to hold it, and he will hold it. So, you have to imagine he's going to be that great dog in your house and not have accidents. There's always a glitch in transition, and, there may be something, but I'm not saying there will or there won't be, and that's not even the point. Duke is generally very playful and strong, and a strong boy who is eager to please and would be best with a savvy, patient, firm leader to help shape Duke into the wonderful dog that he can be. I just love his face. He just looks like so much fun. I love that pity smile. I love those soulful eyes. He's got beautiful markings, and he just sounds like a great, great dog. And for him to be starting to fail in the shelter is really sad. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He's pretty much a clean slate. He needs to be taught how to be a dog again, and he needs someone to do that for him. Duke has a Facebook page, and that's called Duke Wants His Forever Home. Or you can call the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter at 516-785-5220, 516-785-5220. Next up we have Carrie. And look at that beautiful face. She is just gorgeous. And sadly, she's like another brown dog who keeps getting overlooked. Look at her. She's just beautiful. Carrie was found in September of 2017 in an abandoned house and is believed to have been used for breeding. When she came to the shelter, Carrie was very thin and very fearful. She is starting to come out of her shell, but she still takes her time to warm up to people, and she is particularly wary of men. Once she's outside of her kennel, she's one of those who, just doesn't show well in that kennel environment. Carrie is sweet, loving, and silly. She's working on her leash manners. And, this is definitely a dog who, at about 3 years old, hasn't had it easy, and she's never had any kind of life or kindness. And she needs someone who can patiently and lovingly show her what it is to be loved and appreciated just for who she is, not for the babies that she can produce and, the money she can make people. It's her time now. And she just needs that right person who can, oh, look at that face, who can, love her into being settled and happy and secure. I think that's probably a big thing for Carrie, is the feeling of security, because, a dog who is fearful has never felt secure and never been given a reason to feel that way. So it's best for Carrie to have a home with no children. And her Facebook page is Carrie Needs a Superhero, which is, kind of oddly fitting. And so you can check her page out, or you can call the shelter, Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, at 516-785-5220. That's 516-785-5220. Next we have Axel, which is spelled AXL. And look at his gorgeous face. He is just such a sweet looking dog. Axel is at the shelter. He was at the shelter, adopted out for about a year, and then returned due to issues with the resident dog. The family surrendered him back in everyone's best interest, and had nothing but good things to say about Axel. Now, sometimes that's the right thing to do when safety is an issue. If you've tried everything possible and, two dogs just aren't getting along, it may be the best thing not to keep them, which is really sad, and it's heartbreaking. And, clearly the family, if they're saying good things about him, weren't just being like, yeah, we don't want him anymore, and being irresponsible. They were trying to do the right thing. Of course, that doesn't help Axel with the belly rub. And that sweet smushy face. He looks like such a dreamboat. But yeah, it doesn't help him be in a home, and it's probably very confusing for him to be back at the shelter, because, bouncing an animal around does nothing for their sense of security. Again, that's a big thing. Very confusing for them. But hopefully, third time will be a charm, and he will find that home that will be the perfect one for him. He knows many commands, is very playful, but also loves to snuggle. He's about 5 years old now, and of course, my opinion, that's entering the best years of his life, because most of that puppy crazy is gone. He's not too old to have fun. They start to slow down. It's a good time. It really is. It's a really good time of a dog's life. So at this point, due to his misfortunes, he is best to be an only pet, which of course makes it much harder to find him a home. But there are homes out there who can take one dog, who have one dog, maybe have lost their dog to old age or disease, and can open up to that one dog. Maybe somebody who's got a little bit of experience, who hasn't had a dog in a while and is ready again. There's a lot of different situations. So obviously, when I ask you guys to share, these are the people we're trying to reach. So by sharing, the exposure will get them, hopefully, in front of the right pair of eyes. So please, all these dogs will be, if they aren't now, on Pound Posse Presents Facebook page, or you can go right to the shelter's page or their own Facebook pages. There's plenty of resources, and share. So anyway, yes, he wants to be in an only pet home, so as not to set him up to fail. He has his own Facebook page, which is Adopt Axel. It's like all run together, Adopt AXL. Or you can call the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter at 516-785-5220, 516-785-5220. And you can, well, no, I'll take the camera back. Last minute decisions. So the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter has an annual Summer of Love adoption event, which basically means that adoption fees are waived for the summer, but that doesn't mean that they're just handing out dogs. So don't, people bristle at, giving away dogs. The adoption procedure is still in place. You need to apply, you need to qualify, you need to be the right home. So it's not like they're being, they're not trying to clear the shelter, and there's a certain irresponsibility that people seem to think comes, well, they do, it's true, all right? So when you're just, handing out a dog, it's a bad thing, but that's not the case at all. They're just trying to facilitate adoptions. Summer is the slowest time of year. It's when, shelters just get overrun, and, it's tragic. They get overrun, they get overcrowded, the kill shelters start killing, and it's just really an ugly thing. So keep that in mind as you're looking for a pet. And as always, I have to say a big thank you to Alberta Hanko, who will always get me information on animals, and be like the first one there when I ask for adoptables for the show. And so Alberta, you're the best, and I do thank you. So what are we looking at for time? I see Colleen's in the room. Alrighty then, let's run through the adoptables again really quick. Sam and Sadie and Casey and Kane and Duke and Carrie and Axel, all just waiting like so many other dogs in so many places, near or far, it doesn't matter. Like I said, summer's the slowest time. Adopt a pet and save a life. Peace, love, and dogs. Until next week, thank you very much for watching. Good night.